Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to episode 167 of the FAB and Fearless Business Booster Shot Show. My name is Yinka. I am a business strategist, a coach, a speaker, and an author, and I support women to create wealth in and through their businesses by helping them to focus on what matters most for the business, which is cash flow and strategy, and what matters most for the business owner, which is mindset and habits. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this 167th episode of the show, where each week at 1:30 p.m. UK time on a Wednesday, I come to you with a short, sharp shot to boost both you and your business with one powerful truth and one actionable tip. And so if you can see and hear me live over on my LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube socials, feel free to jump into the chat, come and say hello, and let us get this party started. Welcome, Jackie. Thank you so much for letting me know that you can hear me live over on LinkedIn. I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful to have you in the audience today. How are you doing, awesome lady? I will therefore go and check over on Facebook and LinkedIn, Facebook and YouTube to make sure that we are live, because today we are talking what to do when you don't know what to do. And it seems to be a pretty apt, appropriate conversation to have at this time in the context of what is going on nationally, internationally. There can be a real sense of malaise and helplessness, paralysis, call it whatever you want. And what I want to make sure that we have access to is some real powerful tools and insights to help us understand more about what to do when we don't know what to do. Jackie is saying she cannot see me over on Facebook. So let me just take a look and see if the tech has teched again and stopped the connection from coming in. Oh, I can see myself over on Facebook, which is good to see. A thank you to Noel Schwantz, who has also liked the post over on Facebook. So that's good to know that is working effectively. So just before we get started, I would also love to check my YouTube to make sure that we are live over there. In the meantime, Jackie, let me know how you are doing, awesome lady. I can see a number of other people who are also watching me live. Feel free, jump into the chat. This is definitely a conversation today. This is definitely not a speech or a keynote or anything like that. These times are very interesting times, and that feeling of feeling like you don't know what to do is something that is recurring and is something that comes up over here and can feel a little common. So I really want to speak to this today because while that feeling is common, it's also important to remember the truth about that feeling, and also to give ourselves some tools and insights of what to do in the context of it. How are you feeling, ladies and gents? On a scale of 1 to 10, please jump into the chat. Let me know how you are doing. 1 is, Yinka, things could not be any worse. 10 is, Yinka, things could not be any better. Please let me know how you are doing and feeling today. Thank you, Jackie, for letting me know that you are an 8 today. Very excited to see that, and very much focused on ensuring that we come good on raising that rating today. So, hasn't it been a week? Hasn't it been a week? For those of you who are outside of the UK, for us here in the UK, it's been an interesting week. Over the weekend, we had a demonstration here close to my home in central London, where over 100,000 people came out to march in a march that was organised by an organisation called the English Defence League, and they are very much focused on spreading and sharing their insights and their opinions on immigration, migration, they're kind of upset about quite a lot of things. And what I will first of all say is that everyone is absolutely entitled to their own opinion, but everyone is not entitled to their own facts. And so, yeah, that demonstration caused, we were given, as someone who is non-white, we were, information spread across our socials. We were told to stay at home. We were told to avoid the area. We were told to essentially ground ourselves for our own safety. And as someone who has grown up in the United Kingdom all my life, I can tell you that this kind of upset malaise rhetoric, this is the kind of stuff I experienced growing up. I grew up in an area called Bermondsey, which is southeast London. And yes, there was a lot of anti-migration sentiment. There was a lot of racism. There was a lot of danger walking around in the skin that you're in as a Black person growing up. And so it's interesting that that seems to have died down, at least the outward expressions of that. But it is now on the rise once again. And that can feel quite upsetting. And that can feel quite hurtful. And that doesn't mean that we act in alignment with our upset and our hurt. I think one of the things that we get to recognize about that situation, or, what's been happening in the US in light of, the recent gun violence and what is being called an assassination, I think it's really important to remember that, there are terrible things, upsetting things, hurtful things, painful things happening across the world at all times. And yes, the march was very present for me because it was essentially down the road. America is very much some parts of America are in mourning right now as a result of what has happened recently. And yet there has been pain around the world, day in, day out, pretty much non-stop since forever. Pain in Gaza, pain in Palestine, pain in Israel, pain in Sudan, pain in Congo, pain in Ukraine. And so it is really important for us to recognize and remember that while the things that are close to us, that doesn't mean that things that are happening far away from us are not happening. I think if we are globally citizen-minded, if we are focused on our humanity, something is always going on with humanity. And so it can, in a big, wide world, it can have you feeling very helpless at times. Let me know in the chat if this is something that has resonated with you in the face of everything that we're seeing in so many different places. If you have found yourself like, oh my gosh, what is this? And this, and this, and this, what am I going to do? Let me know if that has come across you in terms of your thoughts, in terms of your feelings, because it is certainly something that has come up in my spaces, and even more specifically in conversations with my children. Like, it's one thing to feel helpless or not know what to do when you are young. It's another when you're an adult. It's another thing when you feel that way and you're young. And so for me, I think it is really important for us to recognize not, the sides that we're on, the opinions that we have, but the shared human experience that we are all having in the world that we are currently living in. And so that feeling of not knowing what to do, not knowing how we can help, not knowing our own power, where and how we can make a difference, do something, is something that has come across for so many people in so many different spaces. That's the world over the last 7 days. But that same feeling appears with so many people running businesses. That same feeling appears with so many people around their finances, around cash flow, around, so many different topics. That don't know what to do feeling is a human feeling. And so the reason why I wanted to talk about it today is because it is very easy for us to forget that it's a human feeling and therefore feel ashamed or want to hide or judge that feeling when it arises. Notice I said when, not if. It's when it arises, not if it arises. Let me know in the chat if this is resonating with you. I've certainly felt very much like I don't know what to do in every single one of those spheres at some point. And again, not so long ago in the distant future. It's really easy to believe that you come to a point of knowledge about a conversation or a topic. Hey, Ratna, lovely to have you here. You come to a situation of knowledge about a topic that you learn, you study, you begin to master, and then you believe that you will never feel that I don't know what to do feeling in that area of the world. And I want to tell you for free that that is false. Even where you are an expert, it is absolutely a human condition for us to still have those I don't know what to do times, instances, feelings. And the reason why I raise that is because where you feel like you should be an expert, you are even more likely to cover, to shame, to feel judgment, to feel embarrassment, that it's not all happening at your fingertips in this moment. And I want to give it voice because light is always the best disinfectant. There is no shame to have an I don't know what to do feeling. And part of the reason why there is no shame comes from the first insight that I want to give to you, which is it is a feeling. It may not be fact. Someone write that in the chat for me, please. That I don't know what to do feeling is a feeling, but it may or may not be a fact. It is not everything that you feel that is real. The feeling is real. What it is trying to tell you about the world may not be. And so the honoring of those feelings will enable us to interrogate them with curiosity and to enable us to separate or to really discern. And discernment, oh my gosh, is so key. It is so key to ensure that we make good quality decisions, conclusions. Oh my gosh, discernment is one of the things that is not spoken about in any spaces nearly enough. I can have the best ideas in the world, but if I don't have the discernment to ensure that I'm effective in communicating them, then they're the best ideas in the world in my head, which actually doesn't make much of a difference. And so it is so important when you feel like you don't know what to do, the first thing that we get to think about is whether that is fact or feeling. Now, it might be both. It's certainly already feeling, but it may not be fact. And so honoring your feelings is so important because then you get to decide not only what to do with the feelings, but also to understand what to do if it is fact. And so it is so important for us whenever we get that feeling to really honor the feeling and to go deeper with it. What is it trying to tell us? Why is this story appearing? What is the narrative that we are engaging in order for those feelings to come up? And most importantly, as the song says, should they stay or should they go? Should they stay? Should I buy into what I'm being told? Or should they go because they're not factual and I need to deal with and do something different instead? And so that first piece around discernment is so, so important. The second thing that we get to do when we feel like we don't know what to do, as I said, is to understand this really powerful truth that really enables us to understand some of where we are coming from. And the powerful truth, the one powerful truth I want to share with you today is the reminder from the inimitable Les Brown who reminds us that we cannot see a picture when we're inside the frame. We can't see a picture when we are inside the frame. We're never going to get the perspective that we need. We're never going to have that outside opportunity to look in if we are in. And so the second thing that you get to do when you are in a position of feeling like you don't know what to do is to remember that because we cannot see a picture when we're inside the frame, what the picture may actually be might be very, very different from how we are seeing it. Jump in the chat, let me know if this is resonating with you. If you can see times when you are in a situation where you are so sure of how things are appearing to you, because you're forgetting that you cannot see a picture when you're inside the frame. And I love that quote so much. It's so empowering to me because it enables us to see something very, very important, which is the power of framing. Framing changes everything. Framing is that powerful part of the conversation that is often not even spoken about and yet changes so much. Because how you frame anything changes everything. It is something that Wayne Dyer spoke to us so much in speaking about, in when he talked about when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Why? Because perspective changes everything. How you see something changes how you approach it. And this is why understanding that the power of framing is so important when you find yourself in that I don't know what to do feelings and thoughts. And the reason for that is because if you frame it as I don't know what to do and I should, then you will feel shame. If you frame it as I don't know what to do, but I can learn, you will feel curiosity, opportunity. If you frame it as I don't know what to do and that's a problem, you will feel bad. If you frame it as I don't know what to do, but I will, you will feel determined. And so when you don't know what to do, understanding the power of your perspective, understanding the power of your ability to frame and reframe is so important. It is so powerful and it changes so much. There are simple shifts that we get to make most often and most powerfully in our language that really support us to view the situation differently. Because we are very clear and we know that the quality of any answers we're trying to get are directly proportional to the quality of the questions we asked in the first place. And so when we come across that feeling of I don't know what to do, again, questions like, should I know what to do? Maybe I should know what to do because I've done this before. All of a sudden, you're like, okay, cool. Well, if I've done this before, what else? What do I know that can help me to inform me on this particular thing? Bang. All of a sudden, it's not this big, hulking, upsetting enigma. There's a chink in that structure that you can begin to chip away and get through to the light. And so I really want to encourage you to really think about the power of framing, the power of your perspective. And then the third piece of the puzzle, we have, first of all, practiced that discernment to check in whether it is fact or fiction, whether we do know or whether we just whether we don't know what to do or whether it just feels that way. Second of all, we have checked our perspective so that we can really understand the energy that we're approaching the issue with. And then third, we take advantage of the power of that saying. You cannot see a picture when you're inside the frame, which leads us and lends us to asking for help. And now you can ask for help from others. You can ask for help from, mentors, coaches, those who are up in your space. Hi, Ife, lovely to see you. Lovely to see you over on Facebook. Shout out to the Queen of the Islandpreneurs. So great to have you here, sis. Thank you for joining today. That third piece of the puzzle is asking for help. Now, you can ask externally, but you can also ask internally. And this is where the power of understanding your agency and all that you are capable of becomes really important. One of the things that I do as a woman of faith is when I don't know what to do, I pray. I pray because I may not know what to do, but I always know someone who does. Now, that's my paradigm of belief and thought. That may not be yours. And so it may not be prayer, but it's still that same sense of stillness and grounding and calling on what it is that you do know. Calling on the remembrance of your own power, the remembrance of your own agency, and all that you have been capable of. And then, yes, you can also ask for help externally. Peers, clients, mentors, coaches, other people who are not in that frame with you can give you a very powerful view and a, split second perspective shift. Oftentimes, we get that I don't know what to do feeling, and it's not true. Sometimes we know what to do and we feel afraid to do it. Sometimes we know what to do, but it feels uncomfortable. And staying where we are feels more comfortable than taking the action to make the change. Sometimes we don't know what to do because we're forgetting all we've done. Sometimes we don't know what to do because we are charting a new path, but it isn't a new path in the history of the planet. We're told that nothing is new under the sun. Sometimes we don't know what to do because we're not making use of the resources and the love and the care that we have around us. Sometimes we don't know what to do because we're about to step into something that is unfamiliar to us. It's proof that we're going into a new growth phase. And that don't know what to do feeling is actually a cause of celebration. But when we don't know what to do, I really want to remind you that you are never helpless and you are never hopeless. And therefore, we don't have to stay in that don't know what to do feeling. We don't have to, romance and get involved with that paralysis feeling that comes our way. We don't have to worry about not taking the right move, making a mistake. We don't have to worry that we don't have the power, that we don't have the capability. Especially when we underestimate ourselves. Ladies, am I right? I mean, I am right, but I just want you to say that I'm right in the chat. I know I'm right. You're underestimating yourself in so many ways. And so my one actionable tip for you today is for you to take a look at somewhere in your business or your life that you are telling yourself right now that you don't know what to do. It might be a choice that you need to make, something you want to launch. It might be something to do with a relationship or a decision, a choice, something you need to execute on, and you're telling yourself that I don't know what to do story. And I want you to put the 3 steps that I shared with you today in practice. So go and use your discernment to work out, is that actually true? Take a look and check your perspective of what that don't know what to do feeling is causing for you. And then go ask for the help that you need. You are surrounded by so many incredible people. You are also one of those incredible people that you know. You are never helpless and you are never hopeless. And so stop walking as though you are. There isn't a single thing that you want to create, that you want to produce, that you want to fashion that isn't available. That isn't available within what you know or what you've done. That isn't available between what you know, who you know, and what you've done. And so I really want to encourage you, because when you don't know what to do, that is a massive opportunity to create some magic, to learn something new, to get a new perspective, to bring on new skills, to have the opportunity for people to support you in a whole new way. Not knowing what to do, that uncertainty creates a beautiful opportunity for new and novel and innovation. It gets to be some of the best things that have ever happened to you, knowing that everything you need to get everything you want is within you or within reach. Shout out to Jackie Raymond, who it's just popped up in the chat. I'm like, you must have written it before I said it, because I just said it and it popped up so immediately. Everything you need to get everything you want is within you or within reach. So take this framework I shared with you today and go and apply it to something that you feel you don't know what to do. And if that don't know what to do thing has anything to do with cash flow, business, mindset, habits, then when it comes to asking for help, don't be a stranger. That is my specialist subject. That is something I can help you with, ladies. And that is something I would be excited and honored to support you with. So feel free, slide into my DMs. Drop me the word. What word should we use today? No, as in KNOW. No. Because you do know. And what you don't know, we can help you to get to know. And so, awesome one, that is everything I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for joining me live today. Thank you, Ratna, Ife, Jackie. So good to have you in the chat. Thank you so much for your live contributions today. There were a few others as well that I saw. Teniola, thank you so much for your comment. To Kika as well. So great to have you all in the spaces. Take care. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And yeah, I look forward to seeing more of what you do when you feel like you don't know what to do. Take care. Have a good one. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.